What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys my favorite and most frequent series on the channel, and that is my Book'em series, which if you have not seen, this is the series where we take possible matchups for a battler, right? And then I rank out the top 5 matchups, in my opinion, that are still available out there for them, with 5 usually being maybe a personal favorite, maybe a little bit reachier, a little bit more of an obscure matchup, and then number 1 being, once again, in my opinion, the battle that I think next best suits the battler in question. And here, for the second episode that he's gotten on this series, we are doing the list for Eazy the Block Captain here in 2024. First list I did around the start of the channel in 2022, and the 5 that I had, I went and looked it up in my notes, was DNA, Geechee Gotti, Sue Surf, Charlie Clips, and then Calico at number 1, who I actually do believe he ended up battling Calico next. This is quite a few SMs ago, right? A few years ago. And then obviously he's battled Geechee and Clips. Didn't exactly work out for him, right? But all those matchups made sense. And before we get right into the list, no honorable mentions. You know, I like to get right to the topic of the video, but want to say Sue Surf was on that first list. He is not going to be here on this one, and it's not because of the lack of the matchup being great. I almost made a whole video on that on Eazy and Surf, just the matchup itself, right? But there's so many logistics that go into it. Obviously, we still have to wait for Sue Surf to be released. Free Surf as always. So that, you know, that's a huge topic in itself. I'm focusing on matchups that I know, like, because I think Surf is set to get out maybe like late 2025, right? So I want to focus as much as I can on like realistic, like things we could see in the next 7-8 months, you know what I'm saying? Something of that nature. So Sue Surf and Eazy the Block Captain, pretty much when Surf is out, it might be the biggest battle that can get booked in Battle Rap. The storyline is perfect. There's a lot of perfect things to it. But for the sake of always trying to keep this realistic, like pitching battles that I could really see having a chance of heating up relatively soon, right? We know that there's some other, you know, there's some other things that don't apply to any other matchups that kind of apply to Eazy and Surf. Eazy come back to URL, right? So we might talk about the matchup again in a little bit, but it is not going to be on the 5 for this video. And without further ado, let's get right into the list. So starting off at number 5, like I said, maybe this will be a little bit more reachy to you guys, but in a world where Eazy has, you know, 6 or 7 different grudge matches, this is one of the older ones, and I still want to see it, and that is Eazy versus Shotgun Suge. And listen, the reasons that I think it's a good matchup, I think are like up front and make sense, right? Grudge match, these guys have been going at it for a couple years now. I remember Suge and John being in Hip Hop Is Real interviews together, both taking shots at Eazy, right? And ever since then, the battle's been almost booked, not almost booked on Chrome. They had that falling out. Suge was disrespected by the price that was offered to him, but especially in the trenches, style-wise, these guys match up fantastic. I think although Suge is more of like a physical performer, you know, the bumping, the pocket taps and all that, they're both explosive and electrifying. And then of course the content, the trap talk, the real talk. These guys are going to talk that shit to each other when they match up, if and hopefully when they match up. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of angling in there too, but there's going to be like this competitive animosity. Obviously, I don't think they got real problems outside of the ring by any means, but they have competitive problems, and that leads to some of the best tension within battles. The one thing, got to worry about Suge, he's been terrible in 2024, and I think that's a big reason that if anyone is against the matchup right now, that's why. Of course we like grudge matches, and of course Suge is respected top tier. There's a reason the matchup almost happened 3 or 4 times. But Suge, whether he's been on Battle Academy a couple times this year, Coffee on Queen of the Ring, Capo on URL, he's choking and stumbling in all these battles. He's rapping 2 minutes flat at most, and the material isn't direct. This man is going through the motions. He's battling for a check right now, and I forgot what interview he said it in, but he said, listen, I want Head Ice, I want Hollow, I want Eazy. And basically, if it's not one of those 3 battles, you're going to see this, like, this version of Shotgun Suge that is not fully committed and giving full effort in battles. But like many other vets that ended up facing Eazy, right, I'm very confident that this gets locked in. You're going to see the best Shotgun Suge you've seen since the Ace on Mean battle, or since his Elite 2022 year, where people had him up there as a high front runner in the Cody race, right? These guys, these vets, when they get to Eazy, it's like getting a battle like I'm not gonna say it's like battling a god tier, but since he is the new star of this era and it's a fresh matchup for all these vets, of course it's gonna bring like a fresh amount of effort and kind of like inspiration to do great in the battle. Plus they go back and forth. No one wants to lose a grudge match. They've been talking shit. I just have every reason to believe if there's a matchup where you're going to get a shotgun shug that's like actually great and not what we've seen recently, it's going to be this Eazy the Block Captain battle. And as for Eazy, I know he's very strategic about how he fills out his resume. And listen, I didn't think the John and Eazy battle would be that great. At one point, even going into the battle, I had Eazy 3-0, and then look what that turned out to be. Whether you have Eazy winning or losing, that battle was very good, and I think you have that same type of lane for that to happen here with Shotgun Shug. Would I still have Eazy winning going in? Yes, but it's a matchup that I want. There's just no other way to put it. Eventually, you should have Shotgun Shug on your resume, and what better time than 2025 when you're talking about doing maybe 5 or 6 battles in a year. But then from there, number 4, very starchly different matchup, right? I do have Eazy versus Rum Nitty, and I mean, it can't get more different than the styles between Shotgun Shug and Rum Nitty. Not only does Eazy not, you know, he's throwing some shots at Nitty, but even there's a lot more respect based on the matchup. He's like, that'd just be a fire battle, right? Like, a lot of respect for Nitty. Still says that he is the blueprint to beat him, right? But you know, a bar-for-bar guy compared to a Shug who's going to be more of that real talk content, more of that, like, performative nature, and this would just be a fight. This isn't off of, like, what the promo would be. Probably the least promoed battle. It's, like, the only non-grudge match I have out of this 5 right now is Rum Nitty versus Eazy, but just straight ability. I remember when we did a Let's Talk Battle Rap, we did, I believe it was like a Google, like, survey. I think we had, like, a couple hundred votes, maybe a little bit, like, somewhere between 100 and 200 of who was the best battle rapper in the world. Just going back to 2022. Top 2 answers were Eazy the Block Captain and Rum Nitty. Now, a lot of people might have changed their answers since then, right? It's been a couple of years and some other guys have made some cases, but I still think that most people that avidly watch battle rap view Eazy and Rum Nitty as like top 5 pound for pound guys still at this very moment. And we want to see the best battle the best. It is the best, like, straight bar-for-bar matchup Eazy's going to have on paper out here. In terms of, like, punchers and really even pens at the moment, who else is he going to battle in that lane besides Rum Nitty that makes any sense? There's not a ton to talk about with this matchup. I guess the hardest thing is where exactly would it go down at, which is a debate you can make for so many different matchups here. So I didn't overly consider that because we could say that for, like, 80-70% of the matchups Eazy has out there. But Rum Nitty versus Eazy the Block Captain, I just think it would be an incredible matchup. I don't know exactly who I'd have winning going in. I think Eazy has like a straight style advantage over Rum. I'm not going to lie. I think the style he has is perfect for possibly beating a Rum Nitty, but I've also seen Rum Nitty face these like very well-rounded anglers that should just beat a puncher, and he just reaches a level that kind of punches through it, where it's like, you know, you could have the style to stop like a 3-point shooting team. You could have a bunch of wings that can switch and constantly be covering the perimeter. But if guys are just shooting 50% and just hitting shots in your face, there's no amount of defense or anything to counteract that, right? Except bringing your own firepower. So this one, no grudge, no real storyline to it, just straight ability. And why I think Eazy versus Nitty in 2025 would be a great battle. And then we get into the top 3 on the list. And at number 3, this is one that if I did this video maybe a month, 2 months ago, right? Or even just a little bit ago, I don't know if I would even have this person on the list. And if I did, they'd be at number 5. But now it is very quickly becoming, after every interaction I see, every battle one of these two has, becoming a matchup I'm more and more excited for. And that is Eazy versus Swamp. Similar to Shotgun Shug, these guys, like the content they're gonna have for each other is gonna help big up each other's performances, right? They're just gonna talk to each other. I think there will be a bit more character assassination in this one. I kind of like the bag Swamp's getting in a little bit more. I actually think on the low he's becoming a more and more clever angler. Like you're seeing just more attention to detail, right? I even think by no means is Swamp some crazy wordsmith all of a sudden, but I think he's improved bar for bar, punching wise, even a little bit on the writing side. So, and on top of that, he just keeps winning legacy battles. He just keeps winning legacy battles. Obviously the Verb battle, the Rex battle, and God forbid if he clears Calico on Winter Madness, this could shoot up to number 1 or 2 on the list possibly. And it seems like everybody is behind this matchup and loving it, but Eazy. Not too shocking to me. It's like an interclass matchup, right? Because Swamp is technically part of UM1, which Eazy was in the tournament for. And Eazy wants to battle top tiers and names to fill out his resume before he does any interclass work. He sees a lot more monetary value and overall legacy value from battling names rather than a fellow top tier, but that's kind of coming up in your same era, right? That's just, for me, that's what I read. Now, I don't know if he straight said that out loud. I feel like when I hear him speak on the battle, he's kind of speaking on it in that sense. But he puts down the matchup all the time. He kind of says what I just said, and is like, Swamp isn't actually that good. His performances haven't been that good. Usual battle rapper shit. But Swamp is looking like, at least in 2024, one of like the best within this year. Even with the limited kind of schedule, he's just battling 5 to 6 top tiers, and he looks like a goddamn top tier every time that he's up there. It's the best Swamp's probably ever been in his career. And like I said, he's got crazy momentum right now where I mentioned the matchup. I know 3 Letterman gives Eazy a lot of hell about the matchup. Shout out Frank White. I know Frank has even mentioned how he likes it. There's plenty of people. The matchup is building up more and more excitement. And whenever an Eazy and Swamp get to talk shit to each other like they did in the space the other day, it's usually funny as hell. You know what I mean? It's got that interclass, same era feel. They're both completely on top of their game right now. And style-wise, they're going to match up perfect with each other. So it's a matchup for me that Eazy can say all he wants about it, and listen, he might actually still do the bet. He's even said, I'm not even like totally against it, you know what I mean? But he's not gonna big up the guy either and be like, yeah, I can't wait to battle Swamp. So he can talk all the shit he wants, but once we get to 2025, and like I said, specifically, if he is committing to that 5 or 6 battles he said he's going to take, I would be extremely disappointed and kind of have to raise an eyebrow if we get to the end of next year and Eazy and Swamp still haven't battled, especially if they just keep, like, if Swamp keeps battling at this level. It's not like, if he takes a loss, I'm sure Eazy will be immediately looking to, like, further, push the matchup to the back of the line. But like I said, this guy does what I'm kind of expecting him to do versus Calico. Battle is actually going to move up in terms of what I want for Eazy next. And then that leaves you with the top 2, right? And both of these super duper blockbusters. They are bigger, you know what I'm saying, than Eazy versus Swamp. And both of them, people, you could have a whole conversation about the politics and logistics. How could it even happen? What league could it happen on? And I get that, but I don't want to have that whole conversation here. I just want to say which one of the 2 better do I think would be better style-wise. And that's why at number 2, I do have Eazy the Block Captain versus Tay-Rock. And this is the one, and while there's many grudge matches on this list, right? This isn't just competitive tension. These guys don't like each other. Like, real life don't like each other. We don't get a lot of times in battle rap where we get to have that at this level and then possibly have that go down in a battle where they really don't like each other and they're going to go, it's one thing to take the gloves off an angle, but I think they take it to a whole nother realm. Neither of them could lose the battle for pride's sake, damn near. You know what I'm saying? With this type of matchup, the way Gun Titles is broke up, how crazy they talk to each other, they got Eazy's got people saying that Rock's running, he's trying to turn everyone against this Cody campaign. Rock has said all types of craziness about Eazy, called out Remy, like, there's real disdain, and then they're also 2 of the absolute best in the world. It's a style clash more than it is like a mirror match by any means. Rock is straightforward, aggression, pockets, and haymakers. That is the basis of the style. It's not going to be a ton of angling, not going to be a ton of comedy. It's just going to be forward, like foot on the gas, compared to a tactician like Eazy, right? So I guess it would almost, in a sense, fall more into that, like, it would be like a rum-nitty, Eazy type of matchup, but with hate. There's no other way to put it. And the only reason that I don't have this in number 1, because we know it's right up there in that conversation, kind of with like Surf and Eazy, like I said, with just the absolute biggest battles to build in battle rap. But that's because I've always thought Eazy has a huge matchup advantage here versus Tay-Rock. I just think style-wise, with Rock, who has so many, such a storied career that comes with so many different angles to pick from, and I just think that Eazy, with all the ammo naturally he has versus Tay-Rock, added to like the personal ammunition from the grudges and the specific angles specific to like each other and what they've had with Gun Titles, I just think there's so much there. When you give Eazy that much material to write through, where it's not even just gonna be about bar for bar punches, he's gonna craft everything around a very specific message, versus a guy who is not going to have the most angle-heavy content. As great as I think Tay-Rock is, even when Eazy was on Gun Titles, I always thought this was a better matchup for Eazy than really most of those other top matchups out there. And it's one that, dare I say, I might have Eazy winning clear going into, which is the only reason I don't have it at number 1. But Eazy and Rock, I mean, mega match isn't even the word for it. It'll be a complete culture shifter when it does happen. And that leaves you with the number 1 matchup here. Equal level mega match as Rock and Eazy, and has some similarities but a couple differences that makes me put it in the one spot, and that is Eazy versus Twerk 2. Eazy versus Twerk, the rematch, which another one where they've been going back and forth a lot recently, particularly Twerk saying he's scared to battle him, Eazy being like, what, you choke all these battles, what could I possibly be scared of? And I just like it. It's more in the competitive tension direction than it is like actual, like Rock and Eazy, where it seems like they got real problems outside of the ring. I think even though Twerk and Eazy sometimes blur those lines, I think that's just part of being good promoters and knowing how to build the matchup. But the reason it's at number 1 for me and not the Rock and Eazy battle is, like I said, I think Eazy has a style advantage in that Rock battle. I felt that way since before they had any type of beef and they were just on gun titles together. I feel inversely about Twerk versus Eazy. I actually feel like Twerk has the style advantage here. That's also how I feel about the potential of Sue Surf returning and taking Eazy. Although he's not on this list, I think Twerk and Surf present the styles that could give Eazy the most troubles out of any matchup that he has left. And that's because writing-wise, they can write right with them, if not in Twerk's case, better. You know what I'm saying, the Eazy. I mean, it's no disrespect to Eazy. I think he's a very good writer, but I think Twerk, punch-wise, writing-wise, complexity, creativity, he's just at another level there. They're also both going to angle in this one, but they got different ways of going about it. I think the Eazy's that more strategic, break you down, character assassination. Doesn't even have to be bar for bar. I'm just going to like talk to your soul. I don't even need the reaction, right? He had kind of moments like that versus Will. While Twerk will angle you, but wrap it up into a big punch at the end. So he's still going right at you for a topic, but then wrapping that extremely creative wordplay at the end. And then the biggest danger factor here is just the pure explosiveness of a New Jersey Twerk, Sue Surf as well. But for this matchup, the way Twerk can take a crowd from just absolutely anybody is a level of danger that you have to account for. Whether you think, however you think about the inconsistencies in New Jersey Twerk, right? He's simply the most electrifying battle rapper when he tries. And I hate to say it, and legacy-wise, that's a negative that I even have to say that. We could have that whole other conversation, right? But by no means do I think that you would get anything other than a 3-round, fully applied, fully serious New Jersey Twerk versus Eazy in the rematch. And that is extremely difficult. That to me is more difficult than what the Tay-Rock matchup would be, and it would be why I'd lean towards New Jersey Twerk if I had to predict the battle. Do I think it will be a 3-0 either way? Like I see some fans make it out to be, oh, Twerk will just wipe the floor with him, or oh, he'll choke and Eazy will kill him. No, I think people are being fanned out because they almost feel personally involved in the grudge. They have to speak like that. I think this would be the most debatable of any of these battles here. Maybe not. It's a grudge match. Who knows? But I think the fact that neither of them could afford the loss, Eazy would be in extreme danger. Twerk definitely, you know, I think it'd be a horrible look for him to lose to Eazy after all the shit talk, kind of representing URL in that situation. Both of them have every reason in the world to win, and they're two of the best. For me, that's just why it's the most exciting matchup. You could still go with Tay-Rock and Eazy. I understand why, but I think Twerk and Eazy would be a little bit more competitive, and that's why I'd be over the top excited for it. And for me, why it's the next best battle for Eazy, the block captain. But that is my thoughts there, right? On the 5 battles that I think will be next best for Eazy. It is completely different. We don't have one opponent that carried over from the first list. Some people could put Surf. I explained why I didn't. But outside of that, he's just in a whole different era. And it's crazy to think just 2 years later, he has just as many grudge matches with what feels like completely different set of people, different demographic of battle rappers. And it just goes to show, you know what I'm saying? What would this, you could say what you want about Eazy, but there's always this mill of, even aside from the drama, you see a space like that yesterday, 5 or 6 different matchups and all these battlers talking shit. That is the type of content we want to see. If we're going to have drama, if we're going to talk crazy about each other, let's talk crazy about each other and then have it lead right into raps. But now I really just want your guys' opinions on a few different things here. First of all, how do you like the matchups? Do you think Twerk is the next best matchup? And if not, what do you think is the next best matchup for Eazy? And also, out of these 5, Shotgun Suge, Rum Nitty, Swamp, Tay-Rock, Twerk rematch. Out of those 5, what do you think his record would be if he took those in 2025? 4-1, 3-2, 1-4, 5-0, 0-5. However you're going to call it, please let me know in the comment section down below, man. But it's been J Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.